Hi mamas, it's Andrea Tran from Breastfeeding Confidential. I'm an RN and a lactation consultant, an IBCLC, and I've been helping moms and babies breastfeed for over 25 years. And if this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss any of my breastfeeding tips. And today I'm going to talk about 5 natural ways to increase your milk supply. And a lot of moms have different reasons for wanting to increase their milk supply. Sometimes they know they have a low supply. And if that's your case, then I hope you're working one-on-one with a lactation consultant like myself to help you figure out what's the best course of action. Some moms are just trying to build a freezer stash. They just want to get a whole bunch of milk pumped and get in the freezer, so they want to get their milk supply up so they can do that. Some mamas get sick. They get the flu or food poisoning, and that can definitely take a hit to your supply when that happens. It's usually just temporary, but these are some tips that can help you get your milk supply up faster. A lot of times when you get a bout of mastitis, that'll make your supply temporarily go down. Moms who work full-time often find that their milk supply starts to dip towards the end of the week. And so these are some tricks that can help them get their milk supply back up. And some moms just worry about their milk supply. And what I want to tell those moms is that if your baby is gaining normally, then you have got enough milk, and that's the end of the story. That is always the bottom line, is enough weight gain. So I'm going to assume that when you're thinking about how to increase your milk supply, that you have down the basics of a good latch, good deep latch, frequent enough stimulation through feeding or pumping, and thorough draining of your breasts. Those are the 3 basics that you have to cover before you start thinking about other ways to increase your milk supply. Now, there are some things you can do with pumping that can help increase your milk supply. Pumping after feedings for however long you have. If you have 5 minutes, if you have, up to 15 minutes. You want to make sure that you do it within 15 to 20 minutes after the baby has come off the breast. And the reason for that is you don't want to cut into the next feeding. If you wait like an hour, you will probably get more milk, but that's because you're taking food away from your baby's next feeding. So do that pumping within 15 to 20 minutes of the end of the feeding, and do it, like I said, if you only have 5 minutes, then do it for 5 minutes. If you have a full 15, do it for a full 15. And do it as many times a day as you can. The more times you do it, the better response you're going to have. Power pumping is another pumping technique that can help increase milk supply. Now, power pumping is just pumping a whole bunch of times in a short period of time, usually about an hour or so. Some moms will pump for 10 minutes, rest for 15, pump for 10, rest for 15, and then repeat that cycle for a total of 4 times. Some moms will just watch a TV show with commercials, and they'll pump during every commercial. And then the other thing that can help with any kind of pumping is hands-on pumping. And that is just massaging and compressing your breasts when you're pumping. And that has been shown through scientific studies to increase milk supply. There are also some foods that are known to help increase milk supply. At the top of the list is good old oats. So eating your morning oatmeal, making oatmeal cookies, oatmeal bread, that is something that has a long history of helping moms with their milk supply. Brewer's yeast is another one, and you can throw that in baked goods, smoothies, things like that. And dates actually are another one. So I'm thinking make some energy bites with some dates and oatmeal and brewer's yeast and maybe some almond butter. And then there are some supplements that can increase your milk supply. Now, these are my 5 favorite supplements because I've seen the best response from them. Fenugreek. Now, the thing you need to know about fenugreek is it's going to make you smell like maple syrup. So if you start smelling like maple syrup, you're probably taking enough that it should affect your milk supply. Goat's rue, milk thistle, shatavari, and moringa. Those are the 5 herbs that I find to be most reliable in terms of helping with milk supply. And I'll go ahead and put a link to all those in my description. There are 3 essential oils that are known to be helpful with milk supply: clary sage, fennel, and lavender. All those are supposed to be helpful with milk supply. My favorite way of increasing milk supply is acupuncture. Of the moms that I have worked with, I would say that at least 90% of them have seen an increase in their milk supply when they've had acupuncture treatments. Now, it usually takes more than one treatment, but most moms say that even after just one treatment, they have seen improvement. So that's one that I highly recommend. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to the blog post that I wrote about this so you can get some more details. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and check out my blog, Breastfeeding Confidential. Until next time, mamas.